Good evening. My name is Leah Barati. I'm the board chair of American Gateways in Austin, Texas. I want to welcome all of you to our second annual virtual event, Pave the Way for Immigrant Justice. Although we truly hoped to be together in person this year, we are excited to be with you virtually and so encouraged that over 260 of us will gather together today for immigrant justice from more than 20 states. If you're here in Austin, I hope you're enjoying Flavia's amazing food. Flavia is one of our former clients who overcame tremendous hardship and is now thriving today. Her food truck was recently nominated by Yelp as one of the top 100 places to eat in Texas. For those who are new to American Gateways, our mission is to provide exceptional legal services to immigrants in need, including asylum seekers and other survivors of persecution, torture, conflict, and human trafficking, all at no or low cost. We've been doing this work for over 34 years, and we've grown to now serve 23 Central Texas counties. I became involved with American Gateways about 11 years ago as a pro bono attorney. And since then, I've worked on several pro bono cases, helping incredibly brave, resilient women and their families find safety in the United States. I personally feel that this work is important because I'm the daughter and great-granddaughter of immigrants, and I feel compelled to pay forward the opportunities and safety that the United States offer my family. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors for this event. It's due to their generous support that every cent raised tonight will go directly towards providing vital legal services to the Central Texas immigrant community. A special recognition to our advocate level sponsor, Baker Botts, and to our ally level sponsors, Francisco and Graciela Cigarroa, McCool Smith, Newland Medical, Norton Rose Fulbright, Sagis, and the Wyfield Group. I'd also like to thank our many other supporters, pro bono attorneys, and volunteers who make our work possible. We are also honored to have in attendance today Senator Sarah Eckhart, State Representative Vicki Goodwin, as well as esteemed members from the City of Austin. Thank you for joining us. This evening, you'll be inspired by our clients sharing their stories, brought up to date on our work, given an opportunity to support that work, and then have a chance to socialize in smaller breakout rooms. And we'll wrap up in less than an hour. Before we go on with our presentation, though, a couple of Zoom housekeeping items. For optimal viewing of your screen tonight, please navigate to the top right of your screen and select full screen and speaker view. Please keep yourself on mute so that we're able to hear our presenters. We'll also be using the chat function. That's where we'll be sharing a link to donate. If you are inspired by what you see and hear this evening, please give. It's through your support that we can pave the way for immigrant justice. Today, the work of American Gateways is more crucial than ever. Immigration is consistently at the forefront of the news. I'm going to turn it over to Natalia, our co-director of programs and operations, to share how American Gateways is actively responding.
Welcome. Akei. Bienvenidos. Salam. My name is Natalia Drelkman, and I've been on the American Gateways team for 12 years. Every day, my colleagues and I have the unique opportunity to welcome immigrants to Central Texas from all over the globe, seeing firsthand how global issues impact those we serve, such as the arrival of Haitians to our southern border who were treated so horrendously, and the recent arrival of Afghans who were hurriedly evacuated from their country. Our team is stepping up to do their part to serve those that recently arrived, such as serving detained women at the Hutto Detention Center just down the road from Austin. Many of those detained are Haitians, and when we meet with them, we bear witness to what they've endured, escaping harrowing situations like civil unrest, violence, and natural disasters. We strive to acknowledge the injustice allowed, humanize their experience, and provide trauma-informed legal services. Our team and our volunteers help us rise above. They help us translate critical information into Haitian Creole so that detained women know and understand the legal process and know their rights. Ultimately, this helps them gain release from detention and navigate an unjustly biased immigration system that is so much more daunting if you don't speak Spanish or English. I'm also helping an Afghan family whose friends and family are scattered across the globe after fleeing their beloved home country. We're helping assure that they can reside permanently in this country, assisting them with their green cards, and I'm also reuniting one of my clients with his father. In addition to this client, our team assists Afghans in many ways, assuring that they can be together, residing safely in this country, a chance we all deserve. Thank you very much for being here tonight, and thank you so much for partnering with us to serve our community.
Thank you, Natalia, for sharing your work with us. I'm Rebecca Lightsey, and I'm co-executive director of American Gateways. And I would like to echo Leah and Natalia's welcome. We're also grateful to you, Jose Garza, our district attorney, for joining us tonight. It's really great to be with all of you this evening. You heard a bit from Natalia about what it's like on the front lines of immigration work. And my co-executive director, Edna Yang, will tell you more about this in a bit. So I joined this amazing organization in March of 2017, just a few weeks after the Trump administration took office. I wanted to do my own small part of preserving American values of family, due process, and fairness. And now here we are, 4.5 years later, still working on preserving those same values. And I want to thank all of you for joining us and doing that work. What we do here in Central Texas touches the lives of thousands of families each year. It keeps families together, as you will hear from a couple of our clients in a minute. And it brings fairness and due process to the low-income immigrants who are navigating a complex, often unfair legal system. As Leah mentioned, our mission is to champion the dignity and human rights of immigrants, refugees, and others through exceptional legal services. So we do this in 3 ways. Our work falls into basically 3 buckets. First, it's shining a light on the immigration system, informing immigrants how the system works and what they need to know. Our teaching sessions give these vulnerable individuals the critical information they need so they can understand the difficult road ahead of them. Second, we empower immigrants to be their own best advocates in the system. We do this at the detention centers, where every week we meet new groups of immigrants who are seeking safety, and we help them. And right now, you won't be surprised to know that we are seeing a number of Haitian asylum seekers. And we do this out in the community. In fact, in a couple of weeks, we'll be helping scores of long-term residents apply to become US citizens. And then the third piece of our work is taking on full legal representation for some. Last year, we represented individuals from over 75 countries, and most recently, they have included individuals who are fleeing violence and unrest in Afghanistan and Haiti and in Cameroon. We also help survivors of domestic violence, long-term residents who are about to be deported, and hundreds of others. Now, of course, the legal landscape is constantly changing, so that means the way we deliver our services changes as well. And this past year has been no exception. We do our work out of our 3 offices here in Austin, in San Antonio, and in Waco. We serve 4 federal detention facilities, and as Leah mentioned, we cover 23 Central Texas counties. And I have to brag, we have the brightest, most competent, compassionate, and creative staff in the state. Well, probably in the country, doing this work. And we are joined by more than 600 volunteers and pro bono attorneys each year. Many of you are here tonight, and I want to give you such a heartfelt thank you for the work that you do. I also want to thank our board, whose guidance and hard work makes our organization hum. Unfortunately, even with this incredible top-notch team, we are still only able to help about 1 out of every 4 or 5 individuals who turn to us for help. And that's why your support and your financial contributions are so critical to us and to those we serve. And by the way, if you have to leave a little early, you can always donate at any time through the link in the chat or by going to americangateways.org/donate. And now that's enough from me. Let me share with you this beautiful video from a couple of our clients so that you can hear firsthand the impact of your support.
En Venezuela existe lo que es una dictadura, ¿verdad?
estuvimos en las calles haciendo protestas y recibimos, imagínate, recibimos desde atentados con bombas lacrimógenas.
No puedes ni abrir los ojos, te cuesta respirar porque se te mete el humo por los pulmones y empiezas a toser hasta el punto que te puedes desmayar. Y aparte no eran solamente las bombas lacrimógenas, era que escuchabas los disparos porque disparaban. En ese tiempo hubo mucha gente que murió. Ya tenían los problemas, nos estaban persiguiendo, de que nos estaban haciendo llamadas, nos estaban amenazando, me llegaron a golpear, o sea, en realidad esa parte no la quiero contar porque fue muy fea.
Allí cuando él me dijo, no puedo, definitivamente ni yo me puedo devolver ni tú puedes seguir allí. Lo que vamos a hacer es que te vienes porque yo no quiero que mañana me digan, oye, mataron a Marianne. Yo de verdad desconocía cómo funcionaban aquí estas asociaciones sin fines de lucro y yo decía, nos quieren ayudar y son gente de aquí, del gobierno. O sea, fíjate cómo viene nuestro chip de creer que la gente por ser parte del gobierno
O ser una asociación así.
o ser
pública,
algo
sin fines de
público, en vez de ayudarte te va a perjudicar. Y luego hablé con alguien y me dijo, no, Marian, no, sácate eso de la cabeza, déjate asesorar y bueno. Me dieron una cita con el licenciado Benicio Díaz, excelente persona.
Sí.
Wow, bastante profesional él y su equipo, todo el equipo de American Getaway. Nos sentimos tan agradecidos, lo que más pudimos hacer. Llevamos mucha comida de nuestro país al equipo. Cada vez que teníamos citas en diciembre le llegábamos con pan de jamón, hecho por las manos. Tantas cositas que pudimos llevarle en nombre de agradecimiento porque ya que no le podíamos llevar dinero. Y yo de verdad, así como esperando y le dice el licenciado a Ignacio, listo Ignacio, listo, muy bien. Y yo, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué? Listo, felicitaciones, aprobado. Y yo, ¿cómo que aprobado? Que sí, que ya tienen el asido aprobado y yo no lo podía creer. Yo dije, de verdad, yo todavía no lo creo. O sea, con el solo hecho de pensar de que no teníamos que volver a Venezuela, eso me dio una paz enorme. Le doy gracias a Dios y a este país cuando nos abrieron las puertas, cuando creyeron en nosotros.
Gracias a Dios estamos aquí.
So growing up in Burkina Faso was, I would say one word is family. It was a pretty tough situation because my dad is a Muslim. I was not married. So he told me, he said, now, what do you want to do? I said, I don't want to marry this man. He said, okay. So I didn't want to go because I didn't want to leave my daughter. She was pulling on my clothes. It's like she knew I was going to leave her. I found myself with this man because at some point I can afford my rent. He is a U.S. citizen, so he can take an apartment. And when you're in that situation, it's easy for you to fall into the wrong hands because you don't know what to do. like, you need a driver license for this, you need an ID for that, you cannot have a job. He would say things like, if you call the police, what you think gonna happen? I was born here. I'm a US citizen. You're African. We don't care about Africa. We had that cycle going on. And I'm always hoping that it will get better. So I come back, which is the truth, is that I was scared. Because I've seen him have so many outbursts. I've seen him do crazy things. And I was like, if I don't comply, I'll be next. So that night, when he said, if I come back and you're still here, we will be in the news with the kids, I knew I had to protect my children. American Getaway, I asked her, does it mean that they're gonna take me away? She said no. They're actually gonna do the opposite. Miss Laura, I can never forget Miss Laura. I felt safe. She knew what she was doing. She has given me all the resources that I need. And she told me, she said, we are here to help people like you. This is what I do. It's like, she was like hope for me. Everything went well. And after that, I got an offer at Apple. After that, then we started the process for Grace, for my daughter, back home in Africa. I was contacted again by American Getaways. They told me that they have received there were a visa available for Grace. And if I had to pay, I don't think she would have been here, because raising 3 kids, paying bills, you don't have room for any extra money. I remember that day when they were all sleeping in the room. I walked in the room and my 4 children are here. And this is something I would have never dreamed of before I met American Getaway. I wouldn't have dreamed of that. It's like a new path just unraveled in front of me.
What incredible stories of resilience and strength. It takes so much courage to share such personal stories. And so I would like to thank Ignacio, Marian, and Ida for doing so this evening. And thank you all for being with us tonight to listen to and uplift the lives of our clients. I'd also like to thank State Representative Gina Hinojosa for joining us as well. My name is Edna Yang, and I, along with Rebecca, am co-executive director of American Gateways. As an immigrant myself, I know how difficult the immigration system can be, even if you have access to resources and legal representation. For our clients who are fleeing violence and persecution, trying to rejoin family and gain stability, knowing who to trust, what to do, and how to access our immigration system can feel impossible. American Gateways provides the clarity and assistance that immigrants in Central Texas need and have a right to. I will celebrate my 19th year with American Gateways later this month. I feel privileged to work with such dedicated colleagues who truly embody our mission and champion the dignity and human rights of all immigrants. We began 2021 with a renewed sense of hope, hopeful for the end of the global pandemic and hopeful for the opportunities that a new administration would bring to our immigrant communities. There have been small bright spots throughout the year, with DACA beginning again for a short period of time, the announcement of temporary protected status for Haitians and Venezuelans, and the glimmer of hope of immigration reform on the horizon. But these small bright spots have been all too soon overshadowed. When DACA was reinstated earlier in the year, we ran a clinic to help hundreds of dreamers apply for the first time, only to then have to pause again when a Texas judge ruled that no new DACA applications could be processed. We welcome the end of the Remain in Mexico program, which denied due process to so many asylum seekers, only to see that termination overturned by the Supreme Court. We watched as hundreds of Haitian asylum seekers were mistreated and dehumanized on our border, bringing to mind the decades of past inhumane US immigration laws that specifically targeted Haitians. What this past year has shown us is that we still have a difficult road in front of us. Each step forward has been met with resistance, and that resistance has resulted in obstacles that have had huge impacts on our work and the clients that we serve. I think these challenges are best illustrated through the lives of the clients that we are representing. Clients like Ms. N, who is from Afghanistan and just last month had her asylum interview. She's still waiting for her decision. Ms. N fled Afghanistan in January of 2020 because of her work with international NGOs that fought for the rights of women and girls, but she could see the writing on the wall. Her vocal activism put her and her children in danger, so they fled before the US withdrawal. Her husband remained behind, hopeful that a positive decision in her asylum case would come soon and allow for the family to be reunited. That did not happen. The delays were too many, and as a result, we had to apply for a humanitarian visa so that Ms. N's husband could come to the US. However, with no embassy in Kabul to process the visa, we were faced with the task of finding him an exit visa so he could safely travel to a third country with a US embassy and finally be reunited with his family. Thankfully, we found out just a few days ago that Mr. N was able to leave Afghanistan and is now in Islamabad, and we hope that he will join his family here in the US soon. And like Jessica, who you will hear from shortly, a dreamer who has been in the US since she was 4 years old and has known no other country as home. We began representing her in 2012 when DACA was first created and hope to be able to represent her to a more permanent path and status in the US. It's hard to predict what will happen in the immigration landscape, but we remain hopeful for positive change on the horizon. Whatever happens, American Gateways will continue to respond no matter what kind of changes come, all the while fighting to protect the rights of immigrants. I hope that you will each continue on this journey with us and with our clients. It is a struggle, but without struggle, there is no progress.
My name is Jessica. I've been a DACA recipient since it first got issued. I got to the United States when I was 4 years old. I did all my schooling here. I graduated in 2006 from Crockett High School. The beginning was a little rough for me because I didn't speak any English. I had to adjust to a new language. And by first grade, I was completely fluent in English. My attorney, Edna Yang, was the one that helped me through the process of obtaining my DACA since 2012. Me obtaining DACA, it really changed my life for the better. I had opportunities that I didn't have before. I was able to be a normal adult in America. I was able to go to school, receive some kind of financial aid. I went to ACC pursuing nursing. I ended up having a baby, so I went for my CNA. I have a 7-year-old son, his name is Emmanuel, and I have a 9-year-old daughter, her name is Melanie. They were both born in Austin. They're the reason that I keep on pushing. It just opened up a lot of doors that I didn't have before because of my status. I was able to get my driver's license. I was able to get my own car. I was able to get a good job that paid me well with insurance, with benefits, with a 401k. I'm currently a CNA and I work in hospice. The healthcare field really took a hit during this pandemic. Our hours were 16, 18-hour days. We barely got to eat at some point. I think it's probably the most difficult year that I've had in my career. DACA recipients lived in the shadows for so long, and for us to get the opportunity to come out and be able to be normal adults, it just completely changed my life around. I wasn't scared or looking over my shoulder. we started hearing rumors of, President Trump potentially ending the program. It really did take a toll mostly on my mental health and a lot of other peers that are DACA recipients. Your livelihood being threatened like that, it puts everything into perspective, that it could just be taken away just by one simple decision that somebody decides that this is not a program that they want to keep. It brought fear to us. It brought uncertainty. Where do you go from there? If they were to take it away from me, they would fire me because I won't be able to be employed. And it just destroys everything that you worked for. I can't go back to Mexico. I'm 33 years old and I've been here since I'm 4. I don't know Mexico. I've never lived there. I created a life here in the States. I would be traveling to a foreign country even though it's my home country. The States is my home. And I hope and I pray that they make a path to citizenship or grant us permanent status here. And I'm very thankful for people at American Gateways that take the time and provide their services for all of the people that need the service. And it's made a great impact in my life, and I'm sure in all the people that y'all have helped. And I will forever be grateful.
Hi, my name is Grecia Chavira, and I'm a member of the Advisory Committee for American Gateways Waco. I'm also a dreamer, and I'm preparing to start my journey to law school. As a dreamer, I understand the importance of access to legal representation and believe in the work of American Gateways. Quality legal services are life-changing and have a profound generational impact on emotional and financial well-being. This evening, you've heard about American Gateway's mission and have heard from several individuals who have been directly impacted by our work. It's my privilege to ask you to make a financial contribution to support American Gateways. To access our donation form, please navigate to the chat and click on the link. Or you can use your phone's camera and hover over the QR code on the screen to be directed to the form. Would you consider becoming a monthly donor today, supporting vital legal services for immigrants in Central Texas? Your sustaining donation allows us to meet emerging needs in our community. The first level, HOPE, is a sustaining donation of $50 a month. HOPE is the promise of a better life for our clients. With this donation, we can help long-term residents apply for their U.S. citizenship and assist dreamers like myself and Jessica to take a step toward a more secure future by renewing their DACA status. The second level, safety, is a sustaining donation of $100 a month. Many of those we work with have escaped unimaginable circumstances, human trafficking, and family violence. With your donation, we will be able to take on more cases, providing much needed safety and stability for survivors of violence like Aida. The third level, freedom, is a sustaining donation of $250 a month. We have provided legal representation to asylum seekers since we opened our doors in 1987. These individuals have fled persecution and danger in their countries of origin and are now seeking safety and freedom at our borders or from within detention centers. With your help, we will be able to provide vital legal services to more asylum seekers like Marianne. You will see on the donation form that the default selection is for a monthly sustaining donation. Sustaining donations allow us to respond quickly to emergent needs. If you would like to give a one-time donation, please make sure to select that option. Know that whatever you give or have given this evening, we sincerely appreciate your support for the immigrant community of Central Texas. If you haven't clicked on the donation link, please do so now. We'll give you a few moments before we move on to our breakout rooms. Thank you again for your generosity.
joining us this evening at Pave the Way for Immigrant Justice and learning about our work at American Gateway. Our breakout rooms are now open. Our breakout rooms are now open to visit with other guests. You'll find the breakout room icon at the bottom of your screen as indicated on the slides. It may also be hidden under the More icon. Please navigate to the name of the person who invited you and join that room, or join us in one of our Friends of AG rooms. If you need help, please remain on here for assistance. Our breakout rooms will be open and you're welcome to log off from there. Thank you again so much for joining us this evening. We are so grateful for your support.